Retirement for Life. Your passport to a comfortable and confident retirement. The podcast that's equal parts education and entertainment, where we break down the retirement maze with a dash of fun and a heap of wisdom from your host, Christian Cyr, CPA, the passionate retirement specialist and president of Cyr Financial Wealth Advisors, the independent registered investment advisor specializing in the AIM retirement system.
Welcome to the Retirement for Life show. This is Chris Cyr, CPA, your partner in retirement, your partner for life, president of Cyr Financial Wealth Advisors, founder of the AIM retirement system. Today we're talking about Doomsday. We're talking about people that are really frustrating me when they ask me this question: should I buy physical gold? A great perspective. I just made a probably 10-minute video, and I thought to myself, I really should talk about this because there's too many people who are worrying about this, thinking about this. I don't have the A team with me here today. I told Brooke, I said, we're just going to do this ourselves. But this is going to be probably one of the most interesting podcasts that we've done, one of the more interesting shows we've done about retirement, because I work with retirees on a daily basis. Every day I'm talking to retirees. We're talking about their fears, their concerns, and surprisingly, a lot of them are concerned about what this world is today. Okay. And a lot of times when I start asking questions, and I'm sure if you're listening to this and you're in retirement or near retirement, you could probably to some degree relate. Everyone has something different that they are concerned about. It could be presidential elections. That's a big one right now. A lot of my retirees are saying something like, I just don't trust this world right now, where it's at, where it's going. And that's okay. You know, the first thing I always tell people is I worry, my friends worry, my neighbors worry, you worry. But guess who else worried about this stuff? Your grandparents did, your great ancestors did. And yet here we are. We're still here on this earth. So realize that it's okay to worry, but 90% of what we worry about never actually comes to fruition. You know, the researchers tell us, one of my guys is Nobel Prize winner Robert Shiller, and he did a study of almost, I think, 27 years of data of humans, of how we overemphasize our fears about bad things that are going to happen, and they don't come to fruition. Of course, some things do, right? But here's the point. I always tell my retirees, look, you're talking about a black swan event here. Okay, what's a black swan event? A black swan event is something that happens unexpectedly, every 3 to 8 years. The financial crisis of 2008. Most people, except for Michael Burry, didn't expect or anticipate that coming. Prior to that, we had 9/11. Prior to that, we had a dot-com bubble where everyone was buying Cisco systems and Yahoo and AOL and Time Warner, and all of a sudden, the market, just the bottom fell out of it. More recently, of course, we've had this pandemic, this 100-year pandemic. And that was a great one, actually. I can't tell you, in March of 2020, when that black swan event occurred and the market fell 30% in 30 days, which was, by the way, unprecedented, how many clients called up and were concerned. And we actually did a really good job of managing portfolios in that time. But I can't tell you the number of people that just got so scared of this black swan event, as if it were not unlike the prior 1,000 black swan events that had occurred before it. Because the ones that overreacted, the ones that were ill-informed, the ones that were irrational, what did they do in March of 2020? Besides wearing a mask and locking themselves up indoors, a lot of these uneducated, overly emotional investors took their money out of the stock market, took their money out of the bond market. And you know what happened over the course of the next 20 months? We had a stock market that nearly doubled. So these people were on the sidelines, overreacted in March, and then literally lost one of the best 20-month stock markets we've had. So black swan events are built into the cake, folks. If you are scared about who the next president is going to be, that's okay. Don't change your 35-year retirement portfolio just because you're nervous about this or that. Because there are these guardrails, in the AIM retirement system at least, there are guardrails, right? We're planning for black swan events. We don't know how many there are going to be in your retirement. We don't know how long they're going to last. We don't know how bad they're going to be. But what happens after every... Brooke, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens after... Well, let's put it this way. Do you know what happens in a black swan event to the market? Goes way down.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did.
Okay, like COVID.
Right.
Market crashes.
Mm-hmm.
A plane crashes into World Trade Center. Market crashes. This country invades another country. Market crashes.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what happens every time after that?
It goes back up.
It goes back up. Now, maybe it doesn't go back up in 3 months like it did in COVID. Maybe it takes a year to get back up. But in every single case, a black swan event, thanks, Brooke, appreciate that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
In every case, a black swan event, the market comes back stronger and higher than it ever was. You know, just yesterday, the Dow Jones reached 40,000 for the very first time ever, okay? You are going to be scared. You are going to worry. It's okay. A black swan event is okay, which has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the point of this podcast, which is, should I buy physical gold? The answer is no. Okay, we're not talking about black swan events for physical gold. We're talking about some sort of paradigm shift in this world that's never happened in the last 150 million years. Okay, maybe it's aliens invading the country and taking over the world as we know it. Maybe it's World War III and complete nuclear devastation. Maybe it is this computer sitting here in front of me getting too smart, smarter than I am, and taking over my world and the entire world as we know it. We don't know what it is. This is not a black swan event. This is life-altering. A lot of people want to prepare for this potential event by buying physical gold. Now, first, is this event even going to happen? The dinosaurs were here for 170 million years. Now, not to offend my faith-based viewers, I'm just telling you what the opinion of science is. The opinion of science is that the last race on this planet, not the human race, but the dinosaurs, were here for about 170 million years. They had this paradigm-shifting, life-altering Armageddon event, where not only did the entire population of dinosaurs really get hurt by this so-called asteroid, they all perished, right? But that was 170 million years ago. Do you know, according to science, that the first form of a human being was 300,000 years ago on this planet? So guys, I'm not saying we're going to live as long as dinosaurs, but I will tell you that they have lived 500 times longer than we have so far. And our civilization as we know it has only been around for like 12,000 years. So who are you to think that this time it's different? My point is that if you are buying physical gold, you are probably preparing for something that, in my opinion, is never going to happen in your lifetime. And do you want to really live there anyway? Do you want to live in this world? No water, no electricity, no financial system, no police officers, anarchy in the streets, people with guns running around. The people that survive in this world don't have shiny metal. The people in this world have guns and ammo and are stronger than you and have bigger forces than you? And is that really the world that you want to, A, prepare yourself for, and B, live in? According to a recent study, the average American feels like they need nearly $1.5 million to retire comfortably. That's a 53% increase compared to the same study just 4 years ago. But is that the right number for you? And are you doing everything you can to maximize your financial situation? The AIM Retirement Assessment can help you figure that out. This free assessment is a simple 3-step process. Answer a few questions about yourself. Spend 15 minutes discussing your situation with one of our retirement specialists, and then we get to work. You'll receive a customized report detailing your exposure to the 7 biggest risks in retirement and the 3 most impactful action items you can take to supercharge your retirement. And if you already have a financial plan, this assessment will help you see what real retirement planning looks like. Get your AIM assessment today and see the difference between a financial generalist and a retirement specialist. Go to aimassessment.com today to get started. That's aimassessment.com. Okay. I know the answer for me personally. And so when my clients, my retirees, ask me about physical gold, I share this all with them, but you might be, if you're watching this on rflshow.com, which you always should because you see my great face and my great emotions. And of course, my team's not here today and we don't have a lot of people here. It's just me, but I'm about to show you what it actually looks like in Doomsday world for a person that thankfully, wisely took $200,000 and bought physical gold. So you might be wondering if you're watching, why, oh why, does Chris have some stuff on his desk? So what I have here is a 5-pound dumbbell. I just made this video where I was very animated about why owning physical gold is frankly not a wise move. But this represents $200,000 of physical gold today. This is May of 2024. This, if it were gold, would be worth $200,000. So I explained this story whereby even though you accurately predicted that the world was coming to an end and you are trying to be the last man standing because you for some reason want to live in this world, you forgot to bring supplies to this new doomsday world. You have a shelter, you don't have a car because it ran out of gas, and so you need some boots. You're wearing out your boots. Brooke, could you imagine if you had to walk everywhere? Just imagine that.
That'd be terrible.
I mean, your boots would wear out fast.
Yeah.
And you didn't think about that. You're so smart. You had $200,000 worth of this gold, but son of a gun, you need boots. So you walk about a mile to your neighbor's house, Brooke, and guess what they have?
Boots.
How did you know?
I don't know.
I mean, these people were smart. You had gold. They actually bought stuff that actually is needed. By the way, this $200,000 of gold, how long do you think it lasts in your Armageddon world? It doesn't. So you walk down to the neighbor's house. You negotiate terms for said boots. And he says to you, I will give you these boots, which fit you perfectly, for $100. And of course, you pull out a $100 bill out of your wallet in this new Doomsday Armageddon world. But that's not worth anything anymore, is it? The only thing that's maybe you can use as currency, you said, well, I've got this $200,000 of gold sitting here. He goes, yeah, that'll work. Why don't you go shave me off some gold? Well, you figure out that $100 is about 1/24 of an ounce of gold, which is the size and weight of this paperclip here in my hand. This is, if this were gold, this paperclip, it would be worth $100. So how do you get $100 worth of gold from this 5-pound gold thing? You have a scale. You know that you need 1/24 of an ounce, and you just kind of start doing this, right? Just shaving off. Brooke, can you hear that? Yep. That's me whittling 1/24 of an ounce of gold and getting my boots. You see, owning physical gold is not what you want to do for a world that will never happen. And just one more thing. about this whole notion of buying gold. As I said earlier, you're going to need a lot more than 5 pounds of gold or $200,000. I mean, this is not going to last you forever. If this is how you choose to prepare for the Armageddon that will never happen, you might as well just do a couple of things. I mean, don't buy a few gold coins and put them in your safe, because that's literally going to last you like 4 days, okay? So you lived in this new world for 4 days, big deal. I mean, if you're in this, folks, if you're preparing for the end of the world, you are selling everything you have. You're cashing out that retirement portfolio. You are buying as much gold as you possibly can, or as much water as you possibly can, or as much fuel as you possibly can. You're not keeping any of it in a portfolio because you've chosen to prepare for something that's never going to happen. And if that event does happen, that portfolio, that bank statement of yours, that CD of yours, that bond of yours, it's all going to be worthless. So owning a little gold in the portfolio, your retirement portfolio, is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. A little bit of it, right? A fair portion of gold makes sense. Why? It's a great inflation hedge. But there are a lot better ways and more efficient ways to own gold than buying some 5 pounds of it and burying it in your backyard, okay? Holding gold electronically, just like you own everything else electronically, is the most efficient way to own gold. And if you don't trust the financial system to own or hold the value that is gold in your portfolio, then I think you should go back to the beginning of the podcast and listen to what I said, because this is something that's never going to happen in your lifetime. You're saving hard, shiny stuff for an event that probably won't happen for another million years plus. You have to think about what makes most sense. Here's what rational people are doing. They're realizing that black swan events will happen, but an Armageddon type of doomsday event is not going to happen in your lifetime. The research clearly shows that. They're being smart. They're visiting a level 5 advisor. Okay? As an advisor, when somebody comes to me and says, oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end, I can't stand America, I'm so scared of this particular presidential candidate, I'm like, okay. And they ask me, what are you going to do about it? The answer is nothing, right? I know you're scared, but that doesn't change the 30-year financial plan that we've set up with guardrails. It's a complex plan. There's a lot of components to it. We've done the tax strategy. We've thought about your health care. We've thought about your required minimum distributions. We've thought about your mailbox money. We've thought about your Social Security. We've put your portfolio in a place where after 1,000 iterations, because granted, we don't know what's going to happen in your retirement. I don't know what's going to happen to the stock market. I don't know what's going to happen to inflation. I certainly don't know what's going to happen to taxes. So those are the unknowns. But I've taken the knowns and I've put these guardrails to say that you're going to be okay. We have thought this through, and whatever happens to the stock market, we have this over here that doesn't get impacted by the stock market. You're going to be okay. I don't know what's going to happen to taxes, but we've done a Roth conversion, so you're not going to be really paying taxes anyway, right? I don't know what's going to happen to inflation, but I have these inflation-protected securities that we've bought that if inflation goes up to 30%, they go up 30%. And after 1,000 possible outcomes, 1,000 scenarios of your retirement portfolio and your entire retirement plan, it looks like you're going to be okay. So anyway, point of today's cast. Don't give in to the commercials, your friends who own physical gold. I think that you should realize that buying physical gold is probably going to end up in you dying, your kids selling the gold, and them putting it right back into the same account that you cashed out just so you could buy gold 25 years ago. I don't think we're dinosaurs. I'm not saying we're going to live 170 million years, but after about 12,000 years of civilization, I'm willing to bet you $1,000 right now that we're going to be around for another 1,000 years. $1,000 for 1,000 years. How does that sound for a bet? My name is Chris Cyr. This is the Retirement for Life show. I love doing this. If you guys enjoyed listening to this, I appreciate you going to my YouTube channel and subscribing. That's Cyr Financial YouTube channel. You can go to rflshow.com and subscribe to that channel. If you're listening, please tell the interwebs out there how much you loved the show. Give me a high rating. Brooke likes it when you give us a 5-star rating on this podcast. For a moment of your time, I am very appreciative, and I hope you tune in to our next Retirement for Life show, which promises to be a very interesting episode. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks a lot, and take care.
Investment advisory services provided by Cyr Financial Inc., SEC registered investment advisor. All content on this podcast is for information purposes only and should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. Material presented is believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations are made by our firm as to another party's informational accuracy or completeness.